This account examines the events surrounding a significant criminal case, offering insights into the complexities of investigations, the resilience of survivors, and the challenges within the justice system. On Monday, May 16, 2005, in Coeur, Idaho, police responded to a welfare check. Inside a residence, they discovered 3 deceased individuals: 40-year-old Brenda Groene, her 13-year-old son, Slade, and her boyfriend, Mark Mackenzie. Each victim had been bound and sustained blunt force trauma. 2 of Brenda's younger children, 9-year-old Dylan and 8-year-old Shasta, were missing from the scene. Authorities promptly issued an Amber Alert, initiating a widespread search effort. The FBI joined the investigation as search teams scoured the surrounding areas. For 47 days, Dylan and Shasta remained missing, leading to national concern. On July 2, 2005, a significant development occurred at a Denny's restaurant in Coeur. A man and a young girl entered, appearing somewhat disheveled. A waitress recognized the girl from missing person reports. Restaurant staff and 2 vigilant customers discreetly alerted police while maintaining composure. Within minutes, law enforcement arrived and arrested the man without incident. The arrested individual was identified as Joseph Edward Duncan. The young girl was Shasta Groene, found alive against considerable odds. Shasta identified herself to authorities and was transported for medical evaluation. Her reunion with her father brought a mix of relief and continued concern for Dylan. Investigators pressed Duncan for information regarding Dylan's whereabouts. The focus shifted to a stolen red Jeep Cherokee with Missouri plates, which Duncan had been using. A crucial lead emerged from a gas station employee in Kellogg, Idaho. She recalled seeing the red Jeep and a young girl at her station shortly before Duncan's arrest. Surveillance footage confirmed it was Shasta and Duncan. Investigators meticulously retraced Duncan's movements, piecing together the timeline of events. This detailed reconstruction began to reveal the grim reality of Dylan's fate and the extent of Duncan's actions. The investigation uncovered a disturbing pattern of behavior. Joseph Edward Duncan III was born on February 25, 1963, in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. His family frequently relocated due to his father's military service, eventually settling in Tacoma, Washington. Duncan described a troubled childhood, though some allegations remain disputed. His parents divorced, and the family structure fractured. Duncan did not graduate high school and began exhibiting concerning behaviors early on. His first documented offense occurred in 1978, at age 15. In 1978, Duncan committed a sexual assault involving a 9-year-old boy. A year later, he was arrested for driving a stolen car. During his juvenile detention at Jesse Dislin Boys Ranch, Duncan admitted to multiple sexual assaults against young boys. He described these incidents with a detached demeanor, indicating a deeply ingrained pattern of predatory behavior. Despite these admissions and clear warning signs, Duncan continued to pose a threat. His history suggested a progression of violent acts. By 2005, Joseph Edward Duncan had a documented history of violent crimes, particularly against children. In March 2005, he was charged in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, with molesting 2 young boys. Despite his record as a registered sex offender, a critical decision was made. On April 5, 2005, Duncan's bail was set at $15,000. A local businessman posted his bail, unaware of the potential consequences. Upon release, Duncan skipped bail and disappeared from authorities' radar. This lapse allowed him to commit the murders of Brenda, Slade, and Mark, and the abduction of Dylan and Sasha. The Groene family tragedy underscores the devastating impact of violent crime. It also highlights critical questions regarding the effectiveness of the justice system in managing high-risk offenders. The resilience of Shasta Groene stands as a testament to the human spirit in the face of unimaginable trauma. This case serves as a somber reminder of the importance of vigilance and continuous evaluation of legal processes. To learn more about this case or similar topics, consider researching publicly available court documents and reputable journalistic accounts. Your awareness contributes to understanding these complex issues. In 2005, despite a federal arrest warrant finally being issued, albeit culpably late, Joseph Edward Duncan III was already stalking the Groene family. He wasn't fleeing the law. He was using his newfound freedom to hunt. The horrifying night at the Groene home is known thanks to the testimony of Shasta Groene, the sole survivor. Shasta and her brother Dylan were woken by their mother, Brenda, who whispered about an intruder. In the living room, they found Duncan, calm and in control, who bound them with zip ties. Duncan led Shasta and Dylan outside, forcing them to helplessly witness as he massacred Brenda, her fiancé, Mark Mackenzie, and Shasta's brother Slade with a hammer. He then loaded the children into his Jeep and drove away. For 6 weeks, Duncan tortured and abused the children in isolated campsites, boasting about his crimes. The most heartbreaking moment was when Dylan was killed. An accidental shot from a shotgun wounded Dylan. But Duncan, after a first failed attempt, reloaded the weapon and shot him in the head. A few days later, Duncan offered Shasta a choice: death by strangulation or by gun. Shasta chose strangulation, but in a moment of panic, she uttered the nickname Jet, which made him stop. Unexpectedly, Duncan asked her if she wanted to meet his mother. Shasta agreed, perhaps seeing it as an opportunity to survive. This led them to Coeur, where Shasta was rescued at a Denny's restaurant, ending her nightmare. Duncan's arrest revealed a past of unprecedented violence. He was linked to the disappearance of 10-year-old Anthony Martinez in California in 1997 and the double murder of sisters Samijo White and Carmen Cubias in Seattle in 1996. Duncan confessed to these murders, stating that Martinez's murder was his revenge against society. The trial for the crimes in Idaho began on July 13, 2005. Duncan was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of kidnapping. Despite delays due to the prosecution's pursuit of the death penalty, Duncan eventually pleaded guilty to all 6 state charges, receiving 3 consecutive life sentences. He cooperated with authorities, providing information and passwords to encrypted files. The federal trial was even more dramatic. In January 2007, Duncan was indicted on 10 federal counts, including kidnapping and aggravated child abuse. He again pleaded guilty to all 10 federal charges, sparing Shasta from having to testify. In the penalty phase, Duncan fired his attorneys and chose to represent himself. On August 27, 2008, after only 3 hours of deliberation, the jury sentenced him to death for the abduction, abuse, and murder of Dylan, in addition to 3 more life sentences for kidnapping and assaulting Shasta and Dylan. Although he initially waived his appeals, his mental competency was later reviewed. In 2013, a federal judge ruled that he had always been mentally competent. Joseph Edward Duncan died on March 28, 2021, at the age of 58, in the Terre Haute Penitentiary, Indiana. Due to an aggressive brain cancer, he refused further treatment. For Shasta Groene, his death was not justice or healing, but the knowledge that evil was finally gone. Today, Shasta Groene is a young woman who has bravely stepped out of the shadow of her past. She's a testament to resilience, having not only survived an unimaginable ordeal, but also found the strength to build a life for herself. While the trauma of her childhood will undoubtedly always be a part of her story, she has chosen to use her experience to advocate for others and live a life dedicated to healing and purpose. Shasta's journey is a powerful reminder of the human spirit's capacity to endure and overcome even the darkest of circumstances. If you found this deep dive into the harrowing case of Joseph Edward Duncan compelling, please subscribe to Into the Crime Depths for more true crime stories. Don't forget to like this video and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next investigation.